Good day, it is July the 6th, and today we continue in Judges 11, doing verses 32 through 33, and Proverbs 6. Remember, if you'd like to be tagged when I post these videos, or if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, complaints, or anything else, you may reach me through 810-242-2997. That's 810-242-2997. You can call, text, leave a message, whichever you like. We begin Judges 11, doing verses 32 and 33. Yeah, just two verses today. Verse 32. Shoshbata led his army against the Ammonites, and Yahweh gave him victory. 33. He crushed the Ammonites, devastating about 20 towns from Aror to an area near Minnith, and as far away as Abel Kiraman. In this way, Israel defeated the Ammonites. So Japheth is still leading the army. So Japheth led his army against the Ammonites, and Yahweh gave him the victory. God gave him the victory. He crushed them. 33. He crushed the Ammonites, devastating about 20 towns from Aror to an area near Minnith and as far away as Abel Kiraman. In that way, Israel defeated the Ammonites. He did lots of havoc, and he won. Proverbs 6. My son, if thou comes surety for a neighbor, that's like co-signing. Only you're co-signing not only money, but actions, maybe material things, maybe like animals, whatever. If thou hast struck hands for a stranger, in other words, you're doing this for someone you don't know. Thou art snared by the words of thy mouth, thou art caught by the words of thy mouth. In other words, you're in trouble. Do this now, my son, and deliver thyself, seeing that thou art come into the hand of thy neighbor. In other words, you owe him. Go, humble yourself and urge thy neighbor. Go right before him, don't put it off. For give not sleep to thine eyes, and nor slumber to thy eyelids. Don't be lazy. Keep working. 5. Deliver thyself as a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler. Get out of that as quickly as possible. 6. Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways, and be wise, which having no chief, overseer, or ruler, provideth her bread in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest. In other words, she gets her food when it's out there. 9. How thou wilt thou sleep, O sluggard, when thou wilt rise out of thy sleep? You're just sleeping in too much, hitting that snooze button. 10. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding hands to sleep. I'm going to stay in bed all day. 11. So shall thy poverty come as a runner, in other words, real quick, and thy want as an armed man. You'll be as you were robbed. 12. A base person, a man of iniquity, is he that walketh with a froward mouth. In other words, he's a liar and a rebellion. 13. That winketh with his eyes and scrapeth with his feet, that pointed with his fingers. 14. Frowardness is in his heart, he devises evil continually, he soweth discord. 15. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly. In other words, God's going to take care of it quickly. And all of a sudden he shall be broken, and that without remedy. It may take a long while, but when it happens, it happens. 16. There are 6 things which Yahweh hates, yea, 7 which is an abomination unto him. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, a hand that shed innocent blood. In other words, proud, disdainful, liars, and murderers. 18. A heart that devises wicked thoughts, planning evil. Feet that are swift to running evil, doing evil. 19. A false witness that breatheth out lies. This is in court. And he that soweth discord among the brethren. This is frowardness. In other words, he does all sorts of things, and God hates him. 20. My son, keep the commandment of thy father, and forsake not the teaching of thy mother. In other words, listen up and do what God says. 21. Bind them continually upon thy heart, and tie them about thy neck. When thou walkest, it shall lead thee. When thou liest down, it shall watch over thee. And when thou wakest, it shall talk with thee. In other words, it'll show you where to go. It'll give you counsel, or watch over you, and it shall talk things over you. 23. For thy commandment is a lamp, and the teaching is light, and reproofs of instruction are a way of life. In other words, tells you when you're wrong and how to correct it. 24. To keep thee from the evil woman or man, from the smoothness of the alien tongue. This is a wily talker, smooth talker, con artist. 25. Lust not after her beauty in thy heart, neither let her capture thee with her eyelids. Don't look at the outer beauty, and don't be enticed. 26. For an account of a harlot, a man is brought to a loaf of bread, but the adulteress hunteth for precious life. She'll give you a loaf of bread for your life. 27. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Or can one walk on coals and his feet not be scorched? No, you can't. So is he that goes into his neighbor's wife. Whoever touches her shall not go unpunished. In other words, you commit fornication or adultery with a married woman. Men do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. They won't hate him for stealing to feed himself or his family. But if he found, he must restore sevenfold. He must give all the substance of his house. Yet if he's caught, he's still got to pay the consequences. 32. He that committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He doeth it will destroy his own soul. You will be destroyed when you commit adultery. 33. Wounds and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. In other words, you'll be shamed forever. 34. For jealousy is the rage of a man, and he will not spare thee in the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom. In other words, you can't pay him off. Neither will he rest content, though thou give him any gift. Yep, he'll just be keep coming after you and after you and after you. You can't stop him. I hope you've been blessed by this reading. May the Lord richly bless you. Remember, if you'd like to be tagged when I post these videos, or if you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, complaints, or anything else, you may reach me through 810-242-2997. That's 810-242-2997. You can call, text, leave a message, whichever you like. Remember, Jesus loves you, so do I.